Hey there, so you want to buy a newly constructed home in the Boise area, but you don't know where to start. Here are 6 things to know about buying new construction in Idaho. While it may seem natural to head to the nearest builder or call the number that's on that huge sign in front of the development, hold up. Before you do anything, find yourself a great realtor that you know, like, and trust who will represent you and advocate for your best interests. All too often, we talk with people who unfortunately miss this key first step, which wouldn't have cost them anything and would have only served in their favor. While you can work directly with the builder, you have to realize that going that route means you're essentially allowing the seller, so the builder, to basically write the contract for you. And well, don't get me wrong, there are so many great builders in our local area, but who do you think has your best interest in mind? The seller or... It really is in your best interest to bring in your own representation, someone who will help you to ensure you get the best deal, have the best experience, and ultimately end up with the best final result, a beautiful home. But in order to do this, here's a quick tip. You have to bring them to your first meeting with the builder. And again, it won't cost you anything extra to do it. So not only will you be able to sleep well, knowing that you have someone who's helping you through the process and advocating for your best interests, but it won't cost you anything. The second thing to know about new construction is that the earnest money will be handled differently. It very easily might be a higher amount than what you are used to or what you could expect to pay if you were buying a pre-existing resale home. When you purchase a resale home, you get to decide what to put down as earnest money. While it's often 1 to 3% of the purchase price, the amount you decide to put down on a pre-existing home is completely up to you. Builders, on the other hand, often have set earnest price numbers that don't waver based on purchase price. In addition, when working with builders, it is very important to ensure that you fully understand how the earnest money will be handled, and if things fall through, what would happen, and if you would be able to get any of it back. The third thing that sometimes surprises people is timeline. You don't have to wait a full year for a home to be built. This is where what we call spec homes can come into play. If you're shying away from the new build process because, well, you don't want to wait that long, which fair enough, you should know that many builders have spec homes. Spec stands for speculative house. In a nutshell, builders build spec homes on the speculation of what home buyers are looking for. For example, buyers might include ample amenities and upgrades. Keep in mind that builders obviously want to ensure the home will sell, so they choose options and finishes based on real estate trends and what they're seeing moving in their local market. So, if you go with a spec home, be aware that you won't have the option to change selections or make structural changes. Before you go under contract, you will have the opportunity to see the finishes and review what the builder has pre-selected, so you can be sure that it falls in line with what you're envisioning. The fourth thing I really want to be sure that you're aware of when it comes to buying new construction in the Boise area is that you will not know the exact closing date until 15 to 30 days prior. So, depending on your current living situation, that can be a little stressful. You will, of course, have a general time frame, but builders are, of course, relying on various vendors and suppliers that sometimes just aren't in their control. So they can never really give you a firm date until they get past a certain point. It's important just to have this in the back of your mind, so if need be, you're ready to be flexible. The fifth thing I'd like you to know is that once you get the notice that closing day is approaching, you will have the opportunity to bring in your own third-party inspector. As an agent, we always encourage our buyers, whether it's for a new construction or a 100-year-old house, to get an inspection. Even though these new construction projects are approved by the city engineers and they have their own inspection process, they're looking for things like whether the wiring is done properly, whether it's safe. But what we've seen is a lot of times they're not looking at the seemingly smaller issues that could potentially and ultimately turn into not so small issues and be big problems down the road. For example, let's say a ceiling fan in the bathroom is venting into the attic. All the moisture from the shower would be going up into the attic space, which could, in as little as 6 months, create a mold problem. This issue would most likely fall under the builder warranty, but it's an example of what can and does sometimes go wrong with new construction. Even if you have a warranty, you'd likely rather avoid the situation in which repair people are tromping through your house constantly after you've just moved in. It's just a headache and a hassle that you don't need and that we should avoid. And last, around the same time as the inspection, a new home orientation will be scheduled. This will allow you to become more familiar with the house, learn its systems, learn more about the builder's warranty process, and this one is important, blue tape any cosmetic defects that need to be touched up before closing. Cosmetic imperfections are not typically warranted, so we want to make sure we get them fixed before closing. And I have to say, we sure do love blue tape days. And let me tell you, if there's one person you can count on to note any and every imperfection when it comes to a new home or a new car, a new RV, new boat, you get my drift, It's my husband, Andy. He notices absolutely everything. He was pretty much just born for blue tape walkthroughs. While it can take several months to be complete, building or buying a newly constructed home is incredibly exciting and is well worth the wait. To discuss if buying a new build or building your own home in the Boise, Idaho area is right for you, please call or text us at 208-598-3041. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I'm Marcy Ellison from Ellison Realty Group. Have a great day.